How does this affect Russia? I've got 84 co-sponsors for a Russian sanctions bill that is an economic bunker buster against China, India, and Russia for their brutal invasion, Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine. I think that bill's going to pass. We're going to give President a waiver. It'll be a tool in his toolbox to bring Putin to the table.
Is it time to vote on that bill?
It's time to vote. Putin is getting worse, not better. Give the president a bunker buster tool economically to get Putin to the table. Putin is more aggressive, not less. It's time to change tactics when it comes to Putin.
This is my video update on this Monday afternoon, June the 23rd, coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with the Iranian foreign minister traveling to Moscow to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. A very important meeting between the foreign minister and Putin. I imagine that much of what is going to be discussed will not be published in a Kremlin readout. But Putin did say that this was absolutely unprovoked aggression against Iran and has no basis and no justification. That is what he told the Iranian foreign minister. And Putin also said that Russia is taking steps to support the Iranian people, the president emphasized. And when Putin is speaking for Russia, saying that Russia is taking steps to support Iran, you can be sure that China is doing the same, that China is also taking steps to support Iran. I'm positive that Xi Jinping spoke with Putin probably before the meeting with Arakchi, maybe even during the meeting with the Iranian foreign minister, so they can coordinate next steps. From what I understand, the United States also called Russia ahead of the meeting with the Iranian foreign minister. The United States probably asked Putin if he can figure out a way to convince Iran to accept the zero uranium enrichment, unconditional surrender deal that Trump is still dreaming of getting Iran to accept. I imagine that's what the United States asked Putin to see if he could do, and I'm pretty sure that Putin told the United States to shove it. That's probably what Putin said, because Putin is plenty mad with the United States. They've trashed the non-proliferation treaty. They have completely trashed it. And that's a treaty that Russia and China, and once upon a time, the United States took very seriously. So the Wall Street Journal, they are reporting, or they put out an article detailing the decision that Trump made to strike Iran, breaking down the hours before Trump made the historic decision to bomb Iran's nuclear facilities. Unprovoked, full-scale aggression against Iran, right? That is what Trump did, and the Wall Street Journal, in an article, they talk about it. The title of this article is "Aboard Marine One, a phone call and the decision to strike Iran. Trump's decision came after mounting frustration with nuclear negotiations with Iran." So the article says that the hardliners, they convinced the neocons and the hardliners, they convinced Trump to go ahead with the strike. And there was a big debate taking place between the hardliners, the neocons, and people in his administration, such as Witkoff, who were hoping for some negotiated deal. But wow, what an interesting bird. Oh man, we missed the bird. It was interesting. I don't know what kind of bird that was. Anyway, the The people in the Trump administration, like Witkoff, they were hoping for a negotiated deal with Iran, and Witkoff was coming to the conclusion that Iran was not going to accept the Trump ultimatum of zero uranium enrichment. And so Trump decided to align with the hardliners and the neocons, according to the Wall Street Journal. And one of the selling points that factored into Trump's final decision to strike Iran was that bombing Iran would signal that the United States is still the big, tough, dominant world power. That is what the Wall Street Journal is reporting in this article. They actually say that Lindsey Graham told Trump, get this. Lindsey Graham said he told Trump that authorizing strikes in Iran would give the U.S. an opportunity to repair damage done to America's reputation abroad after the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. You'll be a new sheriff in town, and this will reset our relationship with the rest of the world, Graham said he told the president. Oh my God. Please tell me that this is not true. Please tell me that the Wall Street Journal is BSing. You will be the new sheriff in town, and this will reset our relationship with the rest of the world. Well, that's true. That is true. Part of Graham's statement, if this statement is to be believed, is true. The United States' relationship with the world has been reset in a very negative way, but it's been reset. Oh boy, Graham selling Trump on bombing Iran by saying he'll be the new sheriff in town after the Afghanistan debacle. You know, the effed up part about this Wall Street Journal article and this statement from Graham is, as ridiculous as it is, I kind of believe it. Looking at Trump's behavior over the past couple of weeks, what can I say? I'm believing this reporting from the Wall Street Journal. I hope I'm wrong, but anyway, Politico, they are reporting that Trump floats regime change in Iran, muddying the administration's message. President Trump's top national security officials spent much of Sunday insisting his administration doesn't want to bring about the end of Iran's government, only its nuclear program. Then Trump left the door open for exactly that. Yeah. This was something else, what happened yesterday. So Pete Hegseth, and I talked about this in my video update yesterday, he had the Pentagon briefing. Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, a guy that is no friend of Iran or Russia or China, super hawkish guy, super hawkish, Pete Hegseth. Still, during the Pentagon briefing, he said 3, 4, 5, 6 times, I don't know how many times he said it, this is not about regime change. He said it multiple times. This is not about regime change. The bombing of the nuclear facilities, the unprovoked, full-scale bombing of the nuclear facilities, Pete Hegseth said, this is not about regime change. This is about preventing Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. That's what he said yesterday, multiple times, on record, during a press briefing at the Pentagon. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. J.D. Vance, he appeared on all kinds of talk shows and in the U.S., mainstream media shows, and Vance said, on record, this is not about regime change. The bombing of the nuclear facilities, the unprovoked full-scale bombing of the nuclear facilities, Vance said this is not about regime change. This is a limited strike. It's about preventing Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. This is not about regime change. That is what Vance said. That is what Hegseth said. In comes Trump, and he posts on, I can't believe this. I really can't believe this. He posts on Truth Social, it's not politically correct to use the term regime change. But if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MIGA, MIGA. Make Iran great again. Some people were saying this means make Israel great again, perhaps. Make Iran great again. That's what I think he means by MIGA. Boy, they've really taken this Make America Great Again slogan, and I mean, it's just out of control, right? Oh boy. So Trump, he threw Hegseth under the bus. He threw J.D. Vance, someone who has been absolutely loyal and supportive of Trump, and someone who has been trying to explain everything to the America First supporters, to the America First voter. He completely humiliated Vance, threw him under the bus within the span of a couple of hours, right? The President of the United States calling for regime change in Iran. Make Iran great again, right? That's the goal now. So now the goal is to make Iran great again, right? So that's Trump for you. He's completely lost it. He has absolutely completely lost it. I get the impression that looking at Trump's behavior, I get the impression that he's trying to sabotage any kind of de-escalation. That's how I'm seeing it. I think it's very clear that whatever de-escalation, whatever little small attempts at de-escalation are taking place, for example, Hegseth and Vance, if you want to call it de-escalation, it is a type of de-escalation. They talk to reporters and they say limited strike, not about regime change, just about taking out the nuclear facilities, not about regime change. That's a type of de-escalation that's coming from Vance and from Hegseth, and Trump just sabotages it. He wants this conflict. That's the way it looks. Because how else do you explain his posts and his behavior? He humiliated Tulsi Gabbard the other day, completely humiliated her. And Tulsi Gabbard still came out in support of Trump after Trump just, my God, did he humiliate her? I don't care what she says, he said. I don't care. His director of intelligence. I don't care what she says. Make Iran great again. MIGA. Make Iran great again. He sounds like a child. Trump is starting to sound like a child. And this is so dangerous. If this wasn't so dangerous, we would be laughing. This would be clown world territory if this wasn't so freaking crazy dangerous. Politico says, while Trump did not call for the ouster of the regime change or say that the U.S. would play any role in overthrowing the Iranian government, his words undercut what had appeared to be a coordinated message from his top advisors, Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Each insisted Sunday that the U.S. was only interested in dismantling Iran's nuclear capabilities. Even Politico is saying what I just said. Trump completely sabotaged them via Truth Social, foreign policy, through Truth Social. Escalation in war via Truth Social, courtesy of U.S. President Trump. Trump also posted on Truth Social, great unity in the Republican Party Perhaps unity like we have never seen before. Now let's get the great, big, beautiful bill done. Our country is doing great. MAGA. Make America great again. MAGA. Make Iran great again. Make Israel great again. MAGA, MEGA. Sean Davis, I believe the founder and chief editor of the Federalist, I believe he is the chief editor. He replied to Trump's Truth Social post by saying, "Were Senate Republicans refusing to pass this bill until after Trump bombed Iran?" That is exactly what I was thinking when I read this post from Trump. You know what unifies a Republican Party, right? War, of course. War with Iran. What better way to unify a Republican Party? Lindsey Graham telling Trump, "There's going to be a new sheriff in town, Trump. You'll be the new sheriff in town. Just bomb Iran. Bomb Iran and you'll be the new sheriff in town. We'll get a reset with the international community. They will fear us." That's what Lindsey Graham told Trump. You know it. They will fear us. They will fear you, Donald J. Trump. The whole world will fear you. And Trump bought into it. Oh my God. But yeah, are the Republicans now going to pass the Build Back Better bill, the BBB, the big beautiful bill, Build Back Better? Are they now going to pass it, or will they demand more from Trump, more escalation, more war? We're not done with Truth Social. We're not done. Keep in mind, Truth Social is the White House press readings. These are the White House foreign policy readouts. It's all being done via Trump's account on Truth Social. What a joke. Trump posted, "Monumental damage was done to all nuclear sites in Iran, as shown by satellite images. Obliteration is an accurate term. The white structure shown is deeply embedded into the rock, with even its roof well below ground level, and completely shielded from flame. The biggest damage took place far below ground level." Bullseye. So the consensus, the way things are looking, the consensus is turning out to be that this historic military operation, a military operation that no other military on the planet could do. No other military on the planet could do such an operation. Trump telling the American people, telling the world that Fordo is obliterated. It looks like the consensus is moving towards the fact that this wasn't so successful of an operation, and Fordo and the nuclear facilities really were not that obliterated. And so Trump is lashing out, right? He's lashing out because he's hearing this. And this is turning out to be the general consensus, whether you're Iran, whether you're Russia, the US, Europe. The analysts are basically saying, you know what? Doesn't look like there was that much damage done, or at least it wasn't obliterated, catastrophic damage, knocking out Iran's nuclear enrichment facility. That's not the way things are looking. And so Trump is embarrassed. He's humiliated and embarrassed. And so what does he do? He goes on to Truth Social and he says that obliteration is an accurate term. It's an accurate term, right? Look at the white structures over there. Look at the rock. Look at the rock. Look at the white structures. It was obliterated, I'm telling you. Obliterated, I'm telling you. Sad, man. It is sad. Basically, Trump spent $500 million to hit a mountain, to hit the side of a mountain. That is what Trump spent the money on. You know what the crazy part to all of this is? I'll tell you what's crazy. Not the fact that he spent so much money to hit a rock. And now everyone is saying that the damage wasn't like you were saying it was, Trump. It has not been destroyed and obliterated and all these things. The crazy part about this is that Iran evacuated all the important stuff days ahead of time. They evacuated whatever they needed to evacuate because they knew this attack was coming. So obviously the bombing didn't really destroy anything of importance, but the uranium is now gone. The uranium is missing. According to the Financial Times, where is Iran's uranium? Search continues for 400 kg stockpile. Bravo, bravo, President Trump. Your historic military operation, the likes of which no one in the world has ever seen or ever will see. This is just so crazy, man. Has resulted in the uranium disappearing. You know how big Iran is? It's huge. Iran is a huge country. The territory of Iran is huge. It's bigger than Texas, isn't it? I think Iran, the territory of Iran is bigger than the state of Texas, and Texas is huge. So that uranium now, which was evacuated, which was removed days ahead of time because everyone saw this coming, the Iranians saw this coming. Now that uranium could be anywhere in Iran, anywhere. Maybe it's not even in Iran. Maybe it's with China. Maybe it's with Russia. Maybe there's some guy in North Korea who's looking after this uranium, smiling, laughing and smiling. Who knows? Where's the uranium? Before the bombing, everyone knew where the uranium was. The IAEA was actually able to see the uranium. They were allowed access to the uranium whenever they wanted. That was before the bombing, before this entire mess. Now, after the bombing, the uranium is gone. It's missing. It disappeared. Where is the uranium? Where did it go? Absolutely nuts, man. A senior U.S. official similarly acknowledged that the American strike on the Fordo site did not destroy the heavily fortified facility, but said the strike had severely damaged it, taking it off the table. The person noted that even 12 bunker-busting bombs could not destroy the site. And this post from The Real Fly says, Israeli media, Channel 13, the Iranian nuclear program cannot be destroyed with bombs, even if we attack for another year with the Americans. Ground invasion. Yeah, that's what they're going to eventually work up towards a ground invasion. Either a ground invasion or a tactical nuke, God help us. And looking at Trump's mental state, I'm scared to death that he's going to greenlight a tactical nuke. I'm scared to death that Lindsey Graham is going to tell Trump, if you fire a tactical nuke, then the world's going to fear you and respect you, and Trump might do it. This is terrifying. A ground invasion is terrifying. But there you see it. Bomb it for a year. It's not going to destroy the facility. Maybe you damage it. Maybe you take it off grid for a couple of months, but you're not going to be able to completely remove it and destroy it. So now Israeli media is saying maybe we need something more to be done to Iran, right? President Trump, that's what they're working towards. So Dmitry Medvedev, boy did he post something on X and on Telegram. Has everyone talking. Medvedev's post. He said, "What have the Americans accomplished with their nighttime strikes on 3 nuclear sites in Iran?" And he goes through a list of 10 things that America has accomplished, all of them bad. All the things that the United States accomplished with the bombing of these nuclear facilities is bad, horrific, catastrophic. But number 2 and number 3 is what people are talking about. The enrichment of nuclear material, and now we can say it outright, the future production of nuclear weapons will continue. And point number 3 from Medvedev, a number of countries are ready to directly supply Iran with their own nuclear warheads. Point number 10 from Medvedev is, at this rate, Trump can forget about the Nobel Peace Prize, not even with how rigged it has become. What a way to kick things off, Mr. President. Congratulations. That's point number 10. So point number 3, 2 and 3 have a lot of people talking, especially point number 3. So what is Medvedev talking about when he says a number of countries are ready to directly supply Iran with their own nuclear warheads? I think Medvedev is pointing out a fact that after witnessing this unprovoked full-scale bombing of the nuclear facilities from the Trump White House, a lot of countries that are friendly to Iran and aligned with Iran are saying, we can help you guys defend yourselves. And I think the one country that he might be talking about, though I don't think it's the main country, could be Pakistan, though I doubt it. I don't think Pakistan is ready to give nuclear stuff to Iran. But Pakistan has mentioned it in the past that they would help out Iran when it came to defending themselves. I think the country that Medvedev is talking about is North Korea. That's just my guess. Anyway, the clown world continues. The horrific, catastrophic clown world of Trump's actions continues with the Strait of Hormuz. And I mentioned yesterday that the Iranian parliament has decided to close the Strait of Hormuz. But now the decision is with the supreme leader, whether they're going to actually close the Strait of Hormuz. That decision has not been made, at least at the time of recording this video. And Rubio is contacting China to convince Iran not to close the Strait of Hormuz. The United States is having to beg China to talk to Iran. That's how bad things have become for the Trump White House. From CNBC, U.S. calls on China to prevent Iran from closing Strait of Hormuz and disrupting global oil flows. Rubio on Fox News, the United States is asking China to put pressure on Iran so that it does not close the Strait of Hormuz. Good job, Trump foreign policy team. Good job, Trump. Well done. Now you have to go beg China to help you guys out when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz. Anyway, let's move on. And yesterday we had a horrific suicide terrorist attack, bomb attack at the St. Elias Church in Damascus, Syria. A lot of people died, a lot of people injured. A horrific attack. I believe this is a Greek Orthodox church in Damascus, Syria. The results of regime change. There you have it. The results of regime change, and that's what happens when you install as your puppet president leader a guy who was a leader of HTS Al-Qaeda al-Nusra, and who just a year or two ago had a 10 million bounty on his head from the United States. Now he's the leader of Syria. The coup d'etat of Assad successful, the regime change worked, and here you have a suicide bomber at a Greek Orthodox church in Damascus, Syria. So let's talk about Project Ukraine a bit. The NATO summit is going to take place, I believe, tomorrow in the Netherlands. And the reports are that this is going to be a shortened NATO summit, a scaled-back NATO summit because of everything that is going on with Iran, Israel, and the United States. And according to Politico, NATO summit to ditch Ukraine meeting, an upcoming gathering of the U.S.-led military bloc's members will reportedly have a reduced agenda. Yep. NATO's even falling apart. Even NATO is crumbling and falling apart because of Trump's actions. Amazing, huh? An upcoming NATO leader summit in the Netherlands will have a shortened schedule with the focus on Ukraine drastically reduced, Politico reported on Saturday, citing 5 people familiar with the matter. Yeah, no one is even paying attention in the United States and the Trump White House to Ukraine, are they? Maybe Keith Kellogg is paying attention, but I don't think anyone else really cares much about Alensky and Project Ukraine at this moment. Alensky makes new threats against Russia. He's looking for attention now, Alensky, and so now he's making threats against Russia. Hearing that the NATO summit is going to be shortened, understanding that the weapons and the money is not going to arrive to Kiev. Alensky is trying to figure out ways to get the attention back on Ukraine, on Project Ukraine. And so the reports are that he is scheming with Budanov so that they can launch some attacks deep into Russia. In a post on his Telegram channel on Sunday, Alensky wrote that he had held a meeting with the head of Ukraine's military intelligence, Kirill Budanov, claiming that Kiev was keeping tabs on Russia's main pain points. He pledged to strike appropriate blows with a view to significantly reducing Moscow's military potential. Alensky also stated that Kiev was sharing its intelligence on Russia with its Western backers, with which it is preparing joint defense solutions. So Alensky is scheming with his Western backers, France, the UK, some neocons in the US, who knows? Definitely France and the UK and some other people in Europe, in NATO. They are scheming to find a way to bring the attention back to Ukraine, and they're talking about plots to hit Russia, to hit deep inside of Russia, to hit Russia's pain points. You know what they're scheming to do. I think everyone understands what they're looking to do. So that's the statement from Alensky. Kiev got hit really hard yesterday. The Russian military is advancing at an ever faster rate. They're capturing 7, 8, 9 villages every week. Every day, they seem to be capturing a village or two. And Ukraine's air defenses are non-existent. And the Russian military, they're hitting whatever military targets and supply chain targets they target. They're just hitting them. And there's no air defense in Ukraine, including in Kiev. And yesterday, the Russian Ministry of Defense said that they hit more military facilities in Kiev, and they were successful hits at that with Iskander. I believe they used Iskander missiles, either Iskander or Calibre. They actually launched an Iskander missile strike on a Ukrainian training ground. And they demolished a Ukraine training ground in the Kherson region as well yesterday. So things are looking really bad for Alensky, and he's getting very desperate. He is getting very desperate. And yesterday he posted on his daily Instagram, TikTok video message that he supports Trump's strike into Iran. He mentioned how the Iranian Shahed drones were problematic for Ukraine and remain problematic for Ukraine, and that he supports Trump's strike into Iran because the Iranian regime helped Putin. That is what Alensky said. So let's do some clown whirls and we can wrap up this video. We return to Lindsey Graham and Benjamin Hall. I don't know who that is, but he posted on X, breaking: Iranian parliament has voted to close the Strait of Hormuz. Roughly 20% of global oil passes through the strait. For which Graham answered on X, better idea, close the Iranian parliament. Lindsey Graham, ladies and gentlemen, senator of South Carolina, who really doesn't care at all about South Carolina. All he does is focus on war, on Iran and on Ukraine and on China. That is all he does. War, war, war. Lindsey Graham And he was speaking to the media yesterday, and he has not given up on his 500% Russian secondary sanctions bill. A bill that he says now will be voted on by the Senate. That is what he said, that it is time for the Senate to vote on this bill. He said he has 84 votes already committed to this bill, which will place 500% tariffs, sanctions on countries that sell Russian energy. So he's targeting China, he's targeting India, and Graham says it's time to vote this through, and to give, what did he say? To give Trump the tools to use a bunker buster against Putin. That is what he said. He said this bill is giving Trump a bunker buster against Putin. What a tool. The only tool is Lindsey Graham in all of this, and the tool is Lindsey Graham. My God, man. Give Trump a bunker buster is what he said when it comes to this 500% sanction or tariff. And he's looking to hit China, and he's looking to hit India. That's what this is all about, an embargo on China and India. That's what Graham is trying to get through. And obviously something like this would send the price of oil skyrocketing, and the timing of this could not be any better, given all the uncertainty around the Strait of Hormuz. Real good job, Lindsey Graham. Very smart foreign policy coming from Lindsey Graham. Let's push through a 500% tariff sanction on Russian oil and energy at the same time that there's a possibility that the Strait of Hormuz will be closed. Real smart, Lindsey Graham. To give Trump a bunker buster against Putin. Where do they find these people? Where does the U.S. find these people? What else? Reuters has an article saying Iran used drug traffickers to stoke trouble in France, says minister. Right. Iran, Russia, Iran, China. It used to be Trump, right? They're not saying that anymore, though. Reuters and the neocons and the war machine, they're not going to blame anything on Trump anymore because Trump has done their bidding. So you're not going to hear any more blame being leveled against Trump, right? Now it's Iran. Iran is using drug traffickers in France. That's right. Now they're just making crap up. Demonize Iran. Ground invasion, everybody. Let's demonize them so we can get a ground invasion or get a tactical nuke. These people are freaking crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. And since we're talking about crazy, one final clown world, BlackRock Merz in Germany is in big trouble. From Zlati71, about 20 German politicians and cultural figures have filed a complaint with the prosecutor's office against Merz because of the similarity of his statements with Nazi ones. The Berlin Zeitung publication is reporting, all because of his statement on the sidelines of the G7 summit about the dirty work that Israel does for everyone. That is a quote. In the conflict with Iran, the appeal notes that this is similar to the words of SS member August Hefner. He called the shooting in Babi Yar dirty work. The signatories believe that such statements by the chancellor are contrary to the laws of Germany and the UN Charter. This is according to the publication, the German publication, Berliner Zeitung. BlackRock Merz. That's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and X. Go to the Duran shop, pick up some merch, like what I'm wearing in this video update. There is a link in the description box down below. Take care.